Hey, I'm Shantae,
And I'm Sion.
and so today we wanted to talk about, do Black women need to be taught how to be feminine? So that is the topic of the day. Do Black women need to be taught how to be feminine? Sion, do you feel like Black women need to be taught how to be feminine?
Do I feel that Black women need to be taught how to be
You know
feminine?
what, before you even answer, maybe I should just like, okay. So the reason why we're talking about this is because on YouTube there's like a trend of videos targeted towards Black women, where it basically supports hypergamy, femininity, is basically to juxtapose the feminist movement. And so that's gotten very popular on YouTube. And so I've started seeing some videos with people basically, I guess, counter arguing some of the points in those videos or whatever. So I just want to open up that question. Like, do Black women need to be taught how to be feminine? And are these videos problematic? So, what do you think?
Yeah, so I do not think that Black women need to be taught how to be feminine. I feel like saying that someone needs to be taught how to be feminine is like really subjective, right?
Mhm.
That's the word, not objective. Right? So I think that Black women, like, because I feel like that implies that all Black women like are feminine or like are want to be feminine, and that's
Aren't
like
feminine,
our
like we're
end
not born
goal.
feminine, like we have to be taught how to be
Yeah,
feminine.
kind of like it's the end goal of like the whole like experience of being a woman, when I just know for a fact that there are a lot of Black women who like, and just like people in general who are both feminine and masculine and somewhere in the middle, and like, yeah. So yeah, I feel like, because you were explaining to me that the reason why they want to be feminine, not feminist, but feminine, is because of like some form of like social mobility, right?
Mhm.
And I feel as if a lot of Black women can accomplish that same sort of social mobility and trap someone in order to like make them accomplish that same social mobility, like acting masculine. I don't think that they necessarily need to be
True.
feminine in order
So,
to get that. Yeah.
so here's the question. Is it really femininity Black women need to focus on, or is it self-esteem? Is it confidence? Is it like, being intelligent? And isn't that what's going to get you further? Because a lot of people think that what you call it, millionaires and billionaires just like want like dumb women, like just good looking women or whatever. But a lot of them want women who are intelligent, who are smart, who are confident. You know what I mean? So, in order to get to that end goal, if most of them, because a lot of them talk about marrying millionaires and marrying up, in order to get to that end goal, you shouldn't really be focusing on femininity. If you want to marry a millionaire or marry up or practice hypergamy, you should be focusing on your self esteem, on your education, you
Yeah.
know, on
I feel
bettering yourself.
I feel like yeah, it's interesting that you brought up education, because I'm just thinking about like white feminists, and I'm thinking about like the 1960s and like the 1967 after the Civil Rights Act was passed, and a lot of like white feminists benefited from like affirmative action, because like basically, and it basically goes on to like kind of like what you were saying, like a really really rich, and we're going to talk about like white people right now, but like a really really rich white man wanted a woman that was college educated during the 60s and the 50s, not so that they could go out and get a job, just so that they could come back and impress their friends, so that they could have someone to talk to when they get home, and like they wouldn't just be like duh. And so yeah, I definitely think that like with this whole push of femininity, it's more so pushing whiteness, right? Rather than
Yeah.
like authentic, like Black femme power. Yeah.
I definitely feel like that. I feel like that's why, because I watch some of the videos, and it's like sometimes it's like I've sat through some of them, but it's like it's cringe. It's cringe sometimes because like I can tell like they're trying to fit Black women into a box, into a mold that was never made for Black women. White femininity is not for Black women because it's white femininity, and a lot of people get that misconstrued. It's like, what, in order to be feminine, like it's a white thing? No, it's not. It's white femininity, isn't it's like a construct. It's something that that they created um, a long time ago in order to, how do I say it, like put white women on a pedestal. To like that's when they started, like, the racial hierarchy. That's a part of the racial hierarchy. And if you don't know that, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
But white femininity is a part of it. They put them on a pedestal, and they these are requirements to be feminine. You have to be dainty, long, straight hair, this that. Other women will never fully fit into that, and that's the point. Stop trying to fit into something that was not made for you. You're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. And I don't know if this necessarily touches on that, but I feel like there's also the whole idea of like white woman vulnerability and like appearing vulnerable to like people. And I know that especially in like history, the black woman is the most vulnerable person in America, periods. But like in history, it's construed that white women were more vulnerable because of their racial privilege, especially during like the early 1900s when all those lynchings were happening. And the reason why was because basically black men were either murdering, sexually assaulting, or doing other things to not black women, to white women. But then when you juxtapose that into like the earlier history and even like what's happening like then and today, there's a lot of like white men that are like literally sexually assaulting, murdering, killing black women, but yet they're not seen as vulnerable because just like what you said, they don't fit into that framework of like femininity. And yeah.
Mm,
And so I don't, it's really complicated because I feel like a lot of black women are trying to fight against that. They're trying to kind of like you always say like the strong black woman.
mhm.
So they're trying to not be vulnerable as a way to like get back at that. And yeah, yeah.
I feel like the point of the femininity movement is to be vulnerable in a way, like to like they don't want to be the strong black woman anymore.
Mhm.
If you know what I mean. And I guess
Yeah.
that's why they're like they feel like feminism does not benefit black women because black women have already been mules since the beginning of time. We've already been outside of the house working. We've already been doing that. You know what I mean? Feminists were fighting because they didn't want to be housewives, but black women were never housewives. They were fighting for this and that, but black women, like, you know what I mean? The experience of black women were completely different.
Mhm.
So I understand what they're saying, and that's why I'm more of a womanist, you know. So yeah, I kind of understand like why they're like creating like a movement to juxtapose the feminism movement. But me personally, I wouldn't go with like the femininity movement. I would go like the womanism. Like I'm more womanism. And then also I was thinking like, okay, so for these well, for the hypergamy videos, they're like targeted towards black women in general. But for the femininity videos, I've noticed they're targeted more towards dark-skinned black women, dark-skinned, brown-skinned black women, not so much like light-skinned or mixed black women. Do you feel like that's problematic in itself? Because it's kind of like I feel like their argument is like dark-skinned black women have been looked at as like not feminine and basically like the most masculine, right? So their argument is we need to be hyper feminine to like fight against that. But it's like, why should you be fighting against this racist stereotype? It don't matter. If a racist is a racist, they gonna be racist. You know what I mean? Look at all these beautiful dark-skinned black women who are very feminine. Where did this stereotype come from? That black women are masculine, dark-skinned black women are masculine. How many feminine dark-skinned black women do you know?
A lot.
A lot. A
Yeah.
majority of them. This is just a racist stereotype. Why are you fighting a racist stereotype?
Yeah, and
It's a
honestly,
waste of time.
that
It's
is a
not
bit.
even true. Most dark skinned black women are feminine, just
Yeah,
naturally. They don't need it. Personally, in my opinion.
yeah.
If they want to level up, because I think that's kind of what they could like level up, leveling up, moving up, hypergamy. If they want to level up, they need to work on their self esteem. They're like education, self love, and health. That's how you gonna level up. Okay, work on that. That's how you gonna level up. Don't worry about nothing else. Just keep working on that. All right, guys. So let us know what you guys think down below. Do you agree with what we said? Do you disagree? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys subscribe and remember to give this video a thumbs up. And we will see you guys in the next video. Later.